Hi guys, we're in for everyone's favourite, chest and biceps today. So I done a chest and biceps session with Darren Watson back in November, and there's going to be some slight differences to it. More so exercises more than kind of the work that we're going to be doing. There's still going to be the heavy set, 6 to 10 reps. Second set is going to be your kind of intensity stuff. So your clusters and drop sets and whatnot. So I usually speak about on Instagram how I usually rotate incline dumbbell and decline barbell. Honestly, like a rotation is probably about 4 months at a time. So 4 months of that, 4 months of this. I've actually just recently, last week, changed to the plate loaded decline press, purely because I've absolutely rinsed the decline. And starting to get that way where I just feel it's like not just my chest getting all the work. You know, the delts and the triceps are taking just a bit too much, and I'm starting to push weight and reps where I don't know. I'm just not feeling this is all kind of positive for the chest and the joints. So stripping it back. It's not stripping it back. Changing to the plate loaded press, and as always, we'll just go try and rinse that as well. And then for the chest session, we've got 5 exercises, 4 in keeping with what Patrick has told me to do, and the 5th is just going to be just 2 straight sets, just trying to get as much blood in. I find that when I push the exercises a bit too much, like we're talking like 5+ for chest, other things start to kind of get in the way. So I start to get issues with my bicep tendon and biceps and stuff, so I try not to do more than 4 intense things for chest, but we're capping it at 5 anyway. So in terms of the bicep work as well, I feel like I'm just constantly moaning, but I've had kind of tightness in that through the biceps, so that's my indicator to back off. So what Patrick has me doing is your kind of set increasers and things like that. Today we're just going to do straight sets of 3 exercises. Nothing heavy. I don't do heavy anyway for biceps, but nothing heavy. Nice and controlled. Literally just trying to get a pump. And in fact, I want to talk about that. What to talk about actually is that since having to pull the work back and the weight back for my bicep injury 5 years ago, my biceps actually have continued to improve. Now, people argue heavy weight, lightweight, high reps, low reps. The majority of that time has been high reps, low weight, and just complete and utter control of the moving weight. So that kind of gives you kind of a bit of an insight into how I've managed to bring my arms up, even with the bicep injury. So that's what's going to happen today. 3 exercises and just straight sets. We're now just past the 11-week mark. I think the last video we done was 13 or 12. So there's been a fair shift since then. Again, there's been no change really to the diets themselves. I've got the high day diet, the medium day diet, and the low day. They're all the same, but what Patrick has done is done more low days. So the past 4 days, 3 of them have been low. So rather than changing the amounts themselves, he's just been rotating the lows and the highs and the mediums. So that's what's been happening on that front. I can kind of feel myself getting kind of crab it now. The body fat's down. I'm shifting more towards a lower end of energy in terms of the diet, being on the low days consistently. So yeah, kind of patience has been pushed a wee bit, and mood's kind of dipping a wee bit. But I've done this a million times, so I kind of know how to handle myself in those situations. So it hasn't affected the training, which is the main thing. If anything, it's made the training more aggressive, because I want to smash the set and get home and eat. So basically it's just kind of a win-win on that front, to be honest. So yeah, that's going to be the chest and biceps session today, and hope you guys enjoy it. Ooh, at least it's 2 in 1. Like I said in the intro, we were doing decline barbell for a while, for a long time actually. And so what I've done is I've swapped it out for a machine that works obviously at a similar angle, because you're working from that lower portion there. Because I didn't want to stray too far away from what the decline was offering me. What this offers is less shoulder involvement for myself personally, and that may be different person to person. But you're not getting the kind of same stabilisation benefits. Because obviously a bar you have to stabilise in that plane there. So yeah, it's slightly different. But I'm not going to run I don't feel I'm going to run this for too long, because purely mostly out of ego, I like to lift a bar. So probably run this for like 4 to 6 weeks, get what we can out of this, allow the shoulders and everything to reset, and then when we get back into the decline press, the supporting muscles have been rested enough that hopefully we're not going to get in like too many issues with the shoulder and the rotator cuff and all that sort of thing. So, yeah. Not every gym has a plate loaded decline. Some of them, this one used to have a seat belt on it, because you'll find as soon as you go relatively heavy, you'll find that your body wants to kind of, it almost forces your body out of the seat. So a way to counter that, if your plate loaded press doesn't have a seat belt, is to hook your feet behind the metal supporting bar. So I'm pressing my toes against the inside of the bar, and that should keep you fixed into the machine. And it's not the most comfortable through the quads, but it's better than nothing. And that's obviously if the seat doesn't have a seat belt.
Go ahead. Go on. Nice. Come on. Come on, man. Up again. Yeah. Come on, hey, let's hit. Here we go. Come on. Up again. Come on. Yep. Oh, yeah. And again. Come on. Yes, and again. Come on. Right. Yes. Come on, eh. Give me one more. Come on, right. Up. Yes, come on, again. Check. Here we go. Go in. Try. Again. Come on. Yep. Give me it again. So the second set, we're going to do a cluster set. So 4 sets of 4 with a 15-second rest. I didn't write down what I'd done last week, so kind of just guessing this one. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. One. Good. Easy. Nice. One. Two. Nice. Yeah. And 3, 2, 1. Here we go. One. Good. Get me. Take it out. Yes. Nice squeeze. Up. One. Here we go, man. One. Pull your grip. 2. Come on, with that. Drive. Yep. 3. And again. Come on. Yes, Andy. Get it. Get it. Yep. Right.
It's like apple and cola. It's fucking dynamite. Yeah. Well, my palate likes anything. So I like to, usually my chest workouts have always been just purely incline orientated, but a couple of years ago, kind of put in the decline work. You know, there's just a misconception about how it only works the lower pec. I challenge anyone to do a decline press and actually see and feel what it's actually working. I think I mentioned before is that the flat bench, in my opinion, is one of the worst exercises you can possibly do in terms of shoulder injury. Maybe not necessarily in terms of chest development. Highly agree that it is going to give you a lot of chest development if it's done right, but the amount of pec tears and shoulder injuries, rotator cuff tears and tears I've seen, flat's just completely out of the question. So they always start with a decline movement. and then move to an incline, and then vice versa. If I'm starting with an incline movement, like when I rotate out incline dumbbells, I'll then move to like a flat machine, which is like at the back there. That's kind of usually how I kind of, not manipulate is the wrong word, do things. It's quite a unique machine. Obviously it's a pressing machine, but I kind of get like a kind of almost a fly type feel out of it. So not all gyms will have this, but it's a pretty unique piece of kit to gear. So 9.
Come on, eh? Easy, beat. Let's go. Come on, lad. Yeah. More. Yes. Come on. Easy, man. Right. Come on, eh? Yeah. Come on, here we go. Set. And again, come on. Up again. Drive. Drive. Come on, eh? Yes. Come on, let's see it. Let it out. Up. That's good. Oh, shit, hold on. Shit.
Didn't get it. I've said in previous videos, if you miss your logbook targets, so just forget about it and move on. But this is an example of where I've missed the target and I'm fucking raging. Yeah, you can completely ruin the rest of the session if you think about it too much, so you just got to kind of forget about it, crack on, and go from there.
Double reps.
Yeah. Nothing complicated about this second set, we're just simply doubling the reps you got with the first one. So, kind of have to gauge what weight you're going to use. So, I got 7 reps by myself for the previous set, so target's 14. Last week, I done 60 aside and got 19, but then I think I had 9 reps. So yeah, I achieved the goal last week as well, but you need to kind of, if you're going to be doing this kind of technique for your second set, then you kind of have to manipulate the weight depending on the kind of rep scale you've managed to hit.
And again, man, come on. 3. Up again, come on. 10. 2. Good, Andy. Come on, up again. 2. Over there. And drive. 3. 2. 8.
As you can see with that last set there, I missed the target of 14 by 1 rep, so just kind of banged out some partials just to kind of get that last little bit, which is what you should be doing anyway, but it's a good way of just getting that last little bit of energy out with each set. So I'm going to do another incline movement. Obviously we sat upright, but the angle of the machine was up over the shoulder, so yeah, like I said, we're trying to predominantly make the session, well not predominantly, but there's 2 incline movements, there's 1 decline, there's 1 flat machine, and you've got a fly movement with the ped deck, so the incline movements do kind of are the 2 dominant angles. I've done up to, like I said, there's 5 exercises in this chest session. I've done up to 5 inclines before. It's kind of old cliche that you can never have too much upper chest. So, but in terms of the current setup, the third movement's an incline movement.
Here we go. Come on. Here we go. Relax. Easy. Nice. Get. Come on, mate. Up again. Yes. Okay. Here we go. Now we walk. Yeah. You want me? Come on, and again. Right. Yeah. Come on, then. Yes. Go on. Here we go then. Take it out. Drive over here. Yeah. Check.
Grogger alone myself.
1, 2, 3.
Here we go. Power. Yeah. Right, go. Yes. Come on. All the way. That's it. Go for it, mate. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Good.
You get it.
Right, go. Go for it. That's it. Yes. Come on. Yeah, mate. Good. This we're going to strip 30% off after every each failure between 6 to 10, and then perform 4-second negatives. As you see, when I can't move the positive, Chris is going to lift the weight up, and then we're going to just try and squeeze out every ounce of energy out of the chest with the negatives until they can't be controlled. You'll see what happens when it can't be controlled. It just goes plummet straight down at the bottom. So it's a weird feeling, but it works.
Come on in. Be nice up. Good. 2. Yes. Good lad. 3. Come on in. Yeah, and again. That's it. Right. Good. Yeah. Yes. Go. Right up, muscle. Good. Nice. Let's go in. Come on again. Push up. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4. And again. Yep. 1, 2. Yep. Good go. 2, 3. Again. Yep. Come on in. Come on. Right there. Right.
So with this machine, you can change the cam on the machine, and so at number 1, the tension's the same the whole way through, and then you can vary where the tension starts. So number 3 would be fully at the bottom, number 5 is like a nice in between. So what I've basically done is I've rinsed level 1, so I'm getting like 18 reps with that with the full stack. So I've shifted it to 5, so it's a little bit harder and heavier at the bottom. This is probably bro science to fuck, but I'm getting a big contraction at the bottom because it's heavier at the bottom, and then at the top I'm getting another one. So I'm kind of getting like 2 contractions in one, but obviously that makes the lift a lot harder, so we're getting less reps, but we're kind of changing the dynamic of the lift itself.
Come on, mate. Check. Good. Nice, man. Good, come on. Yes, easy, come on. Wait there. Drive. Yep. Yeah. Easy one, mate, come on. That again. Yes, that again. Now we're working. Drive. Easy. Come on in. What? Yes, and again, more there. Come on in. Come on, that. Let's go. Yep, get it. Up again, come on. Yes. Go on. Good lad.
So with this one, what we're going to do, I'm going to use the same working weight, and again we're looking for that 6 to 12 rep range, fail in that range. Yes, mate, come on. 20 seconds, rep out as many as we can, and keep repeating that until we can't complete 1 rep from the bottom.
One in.
Yep.
Yes, mate. Good. Nice one. Come on in. I'll go here. Come on, here we go. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Easy. And again. Come on. Oh, yes. 3, 2, 1. Ready. 1. Yes. Again. Come on. Good lad. 3, 2, 1. Get it. Come on. Get it. Yes. Good lad. Come on.
So as you can see, expended quite a lot of energy for that second set. So only got 3 after a rest, and then barely 1 in the third. So yeah, that's kind of what you should be aiming for. If you're getting like 12 and then pausing and then getting 10, like the starting weight's obviously not heavy enough. Ready? So like I said in the intro, Patrick's asked me to do five exercises for chest. First 4 following his principles, but after doing that and obviously the previous 3 things as well, my chest is just done. So what I'd rather do now is just do 2 kind of light sets with the pec deck with a fly movement, because the previous 4 movements have all been presses. Is just drive some blood into the muscle, not do anything past failure, just kind of essentially just pump the chest up. The reason some might be wondering why we're doing so many presses is that in recent months my fly movements have just been aggravating everything. So my shoulder, the bicep tendon, the brachialis, that's all just kind of being hit a bit too hard from the flying movements and taking them to failure. So it's like 4 presses on the fly just now. That may change in the future when the bicep kind of eases off and that. So I do enjoy fly movements. I actually feel I'm stronger in a fly movement than I am in a pressing movement, but I don't want any more pain through my elbow, through the shoulder. So just keeping the fly movements just light for now, just prioritising the presses. Like I said at the start, I'm not going to do anything mad for biceps this week. I'm just going to keep it light, 2 sets, 3 exercises, probably about 15 reps. I'm just trying to get blood into the muscle. I know when to back off when things start kind of playing up. So this is one of those weeks where I need to just back off a little bit, especially because the way my splits kind of change this week. So usually I do chest, legs, but picked up a wee knee injury as well. And so what I've done is I've swapped back and legs this week. So that means that tomorrow I'm going to be doing back, so I do not want my biceps ruined for that. Because if there's anything that kind of does aggravate old injuries, it's the heavy rowing and the heavy back work that I do. So I'm going to do nothing to impair that this week. So nice and light, just get some blood in. Job done.
Good lad. Good. Bottle off it. Good. Good. do it because I can't do it. Good man. Come on. Nice one. Come on. Yeah. Right. Oh. You can't pick it up.
Ugh. Nasty.
Hey. Huh? Come on, man. Come on, good lad.
Oh, fuck. Right guys, so that was the chest and bicep session, and as you can see, if we compare it to the one that I done in November with Darren Watson, there's some exercise changes there, but in the grand scheme of things, the sets, the warm-up sets, the reps, the working ranges, they're all relatively similar. Just some of the intensity and techniques are slightly different. So the kind of take-home message I'm trying to tell people is that try and stick to one method of training for an extended period of time. Now that's not 6, 8, 10 weeks. That's 8 months of relatively similar training. So that just kind of gives you some insight into kind of what I do, and that's me obviously in the contest prep phase as well. So my training hasn't changed. It's exactly the same as what it was 8 months ago at my heaviest and my strongest. Don't get me wrong, my strength is still there, but you know, I'm almost at the halfway mark with this prep. So I'm losing a rep or two here and there, as you saw in the video. And as I stated at the time, you know, try not to get too upset when the logbook kind of drops a wee bit. Obviously a bit of a hypocrite when I was fucking raging after that set, but yeah, you have to kind of just take it on the chin and move on. So yeah, we're 10 weeks out this weekend. Everything's kind of looking what it should, in my opinion. It's definitely the best I've ever looked at 10 weeks out, so that's a massive plus. Weight's sitting at 254.8 this morning. So it's definitely stabilised in the 250 regions, and that was after 2 low days, a high and a low before that, so 3 low days in 4 days, so there's no surprise that the kind of weight's dropped to that. So expected to bounce up a wee bit today, and then I think I'm low until the end of the week, so it's starting to get kind of real now. I always say when a prep transitions into the single digits, that's for me when it starts getting real. Like right now, yeah, I know I'm on prep, but it doesn't quite feel like it's a real goal yet. So when the weeks start coming to the single digits, that's when it starts getting real. So you're going to see some drained faces coming up in the next couple of weeks. We appreciate watching the video, guys, and remember to subscribe and follow me on Instagram at AMS Muscle as well. Cheers, guys.
What? No me. You've got a camera on your chin.
Don't make me laugh.